All right, this is Tom.
And this is Joe.
And this is No Huntsville. Welcome to another episode. We have a music episode today. We have Andy Dale Petty here in the studio, and from Tuscaloosa, but originally from Huntsville as well. We went over to Yellowhammer, watched you play last night, and had a good time. And welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in and talking to us.
Thanks.
All right, so let's start right off and talk about your music, and let's talk about some how you got started playing. And tell me who some of your influences are.
I got started playing when I was about 13 with the guitar, and played a little harmonica before that, and ukulele, and just some instruments that were laying around the house.
Right.
You know, and some guitars that were hidden under my grandmother's bed in her house. From like old K guitars, you know, people got for Christmas presents back in the 50s and stuff.
Right.
But they were all out of whack and stuff. But yeah, I just started playing. You know, like in kind of punk music like Green Day, Nirvana, and the Wipers, Black Flag, Minor Threat,
sure,
all that kind of stuff. And moved into the old time music slowly, just through the banjo. I thought it was a really awesome, exciting instrument that was real temperamental, and it seemed kind of like a very magical instrument.
Sure. So tell me who some of your influences are that went well, other than those bands like that got you. So those bands are kind of the punk side of it, but yeah. You're more you play more of the folk and a kind of a different genre of music. So tell me who your influences on that side would be.
Well, my favorite is probably Leadbelly and Charlie Patton, Blind Willie Johnson, and as far as banjo players like Hobart Smith and Clarence Ashley, Tommy Jarrell. And Doc Boggs, I like him a lot.
Okay.
Those are all kind of Virginia-based, like Southwest Virginia and East Tennessee-based folks from like, I was born like in the 1880s, 1890s, and so playing the kind of the Southwest Virginian style of banjo,
right,
and that sort of thing.
And so we were talking earlier, and I was saying that it seems like this type of soulful Southern music is rooted in, hard times and poverty, and religion always kind of seems to play a part in the influence in this type of music. And I was looking over at your first album from 2009, put out by Voodoo Rhythm, and it's the title track, or the title of the album is All God's Children Have Shoes. And I was wondering your influences as you were growing up. Were you religious, and does that play a big part in some of the music that you're writing and playing now?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I guess, kind of through religion, it kind of teaches you to, accept the unknown, and
sure,
like kind of take messages you hear, as kind of as truth, like kind of have faith in that kind of thing. And music is very similar, you get inspiration for a song.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as that definitely influenced me, and also just like, Protestant music. Like a lot of the old hymns and stuff, they all kind of, it's like playing on the black keys and the piano, that real kind of modal sound.
Right.
That definitely influenced, because I was always my favorite music has always been like hymns and like Christmas music, like, Silent Night, that sort of thing, because it all has kind of that same major key sound. Mm-hmm. So definitely the music, Protestant music, and then yeah, I mean.
All right, and then so let's tie all this back into Huntsville. So you live in Tuscaloosa now, but you come up here a lot and you play. I know you got a lot of friends here in town that you play with. So where are your favorite spots that you like to play here in Huntsville? And then where do you also like to go to see other bands play around town here?
Mm-hmm. Well, over the years, there's been a lot of different locations that have had shows, like house shows,
right,
and different venues, and like the different incarnations of the Flying Monkey when it was at Putnam.
Oh, right, yeah.
The Low Mill, and then how Low Mill used to be, where it was like just an abandoned factory that have shows. But now, like Vertical House is a great place to see shows.
Sure, yeah.
And the Copper Top.
Right, so I think almost every episode we plug Copper Top because they're just putting on really good shows there.
When you're talking music, you a lot more venues will have you. You're not blasting people out.
Yeah.
And, it's an intimate kind of thing. But then it translates well. Like we saw you at Yellowhammer, and people are out there drinking and having a good time. And
it was it seemed like it was pretty. And I was listening to music earlier today, and I thought, well, yeah, it's kind of like that campfire music, right? You're sitting around the campfire, everybody's having a good time. it's more background, but it's still it's fun and it's good to listen to. So that's was a perfect venue for you when you were playing outside last night, right?
Yeah, it was neat.
Yeah, it's the kind of music you can, do on the fly. Just if you have a guitar, you don't need a PA necessarily if it's people are close enough. And that's kind of like a big thing about folk music, that whole genre in general is that
Right.
it's,
Very accessible,
yeah, it's people always think of folk music as something that happened a long time ago, and it's like you have to reproduce it now, that certain style. But
Right.
I think it's just always been about people being connected to each other, and like that might have been through people passing down songs to their children or like styles of playing. But I mean, like the music that we think of as folk music was evolved heavily from the past generation before that.
Sure, yeah. So you're going to play a song for us today here in the studio, and this is going to be, again, you have 2 albums that are out now, but you're coming out with a new album at the end of the summer, and you're going to play a song for us from that album.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the name of that song?
It's called January Winds.
January Winds.
Yeah.
All right, let's take it here. Yeah, take a drink first. That's Andy Dale Petty, facebook.com/Andy Dale Petty, and andydalepetty.bandcamp.com. Andy, thanks for coming in and talking to us and playing today.
That was great.
Yeah, thanks a lot.